So you're all laying down on your mats. And I just want you to really relax the whole body. So although yin is quite a peaceful practice, we can still work quite hard if we want to. And just check out how your body's feeling this evening, whether you want to maybe challenge yourself a little bit deeper, or whether you want it to be a little bit more of a restorative basis. But yin certainly isn't restorative. We will still always be challenging ourselves a little bit. I'm going to read you a little affirmation. And it's an affirmation for the sacral chakra. And your sacral chakra is just about 2 inches below the navel. We will open this sacral chakra throughout this practice this evening because we will be doing some hip work as well. So the affirmation is, I am enough. What I do is enough. What I have is enough. Who I am and what I do is enough. And this is a beautiful affirmation for when we do our yin practice, because you may find that you're judging yourselves because you can't get into the full postures, but what you're doing is enough. If you're feeling the postures, you are doing enough. So take your awareness to your breath now, your inhales and your exhales. And let's just have a little cleansing breath before we begin our practice. So take a nice long, deep inhale through the nostrils. And open the mouth softly and have a slow exhale. Just bringing a lot of oxygen into the body with a long, deep inhale. And opening the mouth and a soft, long exhale, almost as if you're sighing. 2 more, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. And then bring your awareness back to your natural rhythm of breath. So that little breath practice we've just practiced is a wonderful breath practice for calming everything down. Sometimes when we're stressed, our breathing is very ragged, and it's nice to just bring our attention to our breath and calm everything down, calm the nervous system down. So our first posture will be a seated posture, and we will have as many cushions or bolsters around you as you wish. If you have back issues, you'll certainly be seated on a cushion. I'm going to just increase the time levels now. So each posture is going to be 4 minutes. Back issues, sit on your cushion. We all know butterfly, feet together. And you're going to have cushions available either in front, and you're just going to have as many cushions as you want and have a straight spine for back issues. And then we just work into the hips and the groin area and also the hamstrings. No back issues, you will round your back and slowly enter into that posture. So with the knees bent, it's not so intense on the spine, so feel free, if it feels okay, just release into it. Malcolm's going to do an opposite one. If you feel that you don't want to do this one, you're just going to take the bolster underneath the knees and lay on your back. And we can open up the hips by placing the feet onto the bolster. So there's lots of options if you don't want to work into that spine. And there will be lots of silence because I want you to really take your focus inside and really start to get to know your body, get to know your mind. And emotions will arise as well. What's happening today? How are you feeling today? So you're halfway through this 2-minute hold. You have options to stay right where you are, or if you want to take it more into the hips, you can draw the heels closer towards the groin. This will increase the opening in the hips, but decrease the spine. So feet further away, work to the spine, feet closer in, work to the hips. If your neck is getting too much involved in this, you can always support it with a cushion or your hands. And then we just enter our stillness and observe the sensations that are being received right now, right in this moment. So we go to what we call the edge. An edge is where we know we're in the posture and we can just be slightly out of our comfort zone and staying in this posture in complete stillness. We have a couple more breaths in this posture. We're starting to leave the posture, so very, very slowly. And we move slowly because we experience different sensations as we come out of the posture. Just really slowly. If you're up already, it's a little bit too quick, so just slow it down a little bit and we just rise up until the spine is straight. And just draw those knees together. And then we're going to take our hands behind the knees and separate each leg really wide apart. Bring your fingertips behind you and settle them onto your mat. And then we're just going to drop the knees to the left and then drop them to the right. So we have internal and external hip rotation here. And don't worry if your knees don't arrive at the mat. If you want to see by taking the legs even wider apart, they may perhaps leave the mat. It doesn't matter. We're just easing into the hips. Just a nice counter posture for that butterfly posture. Incidentally, the butterfly posture, this posture that we've been doing, I suggest that you use this all the time to watch the TV or read your book and open up your hips and have a nice flexy body. So we're going to take the next posture, which tight hamstrings. I'll give you an alternative. No tight hamstrings, or you can stay in this one as well. We're going to have the legs really connected with the earth. I'm going to bring those cushions or bolsters. I'm going to roll over, and this is going to be a nice passive posture unless we want to go a little bit deeper. So again, it's 4 minutes. Now there's another option. The tight hamstrings may not like that, so you're going to lay on your back and you'll bring your knees to your chest, and then you can stretch and have that same back stretch on your back. And those who you used to come to my yoga and you have got a bolster, you know that you can come right over, have the shoulders on the mat and stretch in this manner. So it's entirely up to you. There's 2 postures and there's 4 minutes. So maybe have 2 minutes in one and 2 minutes in the other. Just see what feels good to you. We're working into our yin postures. And the beauty of this is we're being very mindful. We're bringing mindfulness into our practice. We tend to rush around, lots of social media, TV. Even when we're walking, we tend to rush. But now is the time for peace and stillness. And bring your awareness inside. So you're coming up to the halfway mark. Now I will demonstrate that while laying on your back. If you have a bolster, great. If you haven't, just lay down on your mat. If you have a bolster, use your feet flat onto the mat and you just roll until the shoulders settle down and then bring those legs in. So you can have 2 minutes each way. Or you can stay in your one position. But you'll notice that the position is exactly the same. There is compression on the belly, which will aid the digestive system. Have you found your edge? A couple more breaths. And then slowly, I'm going to release out of the posture, come up into long-legged seated posture. We want to have the spine nice and straight, the toes towards you, and you can really feel these hamstrings. You'll take your fingertips behind your buttocks and just lift up your heart. Have a little very gentle back bend. And then come back to neutral. And then again, lift up the heart, have the gentle back bend. Expansion of the chest. Exhale back to neutral. And then one more, lifting up. And then come back to neutral. Our next posture is wide legs. So really, really wide legs. And again, back issues, perhaps stay a little bit higher. So we're going to move over to this right leg. So have your props available. Before we move over to that right leg, we'll inhale, lengthen up, straighten the spine. On the exhale, we'll twist to the right. Place your hands on the mat, and we'll draw the chest down towards the thigh. Our cushions, they're here to support you. If you've got tight hamstrings, you may want a cushion under those knees. You'll certainly know it if you've got tight hamstrings, or you can even use your arms underneath as well. Alternatively, you can stay high and have the cushion quite high on the thigh and just settle into this position, which may be a bit more accessible. We take an inhale and exhale, just moving into our edge. We don't rush. When we rush, we may damage, so we take it easy, just ease and see if the body invites us to go a little bit deeper. Again, you can bring this mindfulness into the practice, this meditation. Meditation is simply being mindful. It's just being aware of one aspect at a time. So maybe it's the sensations you're receiving, perhaps it's your breath, or just focused on one aspect, which brings us into mindfulness, which brings us into meditation. You're going to have choices now. We're halfway, and some of you may want to go into a deeper posture. Some of you may want to stay right where you are, or maybe even release out of the posture a little bit. So for the next 2 minutes, you can join me if you want to, or you can stay right where you are. If you're joining me, we're going to rise up slowly. We're going to bring any props that we have inside that right leg. And then we're just going to ease back down again and maybe put the elbow onto that prop, and we can just settle the head down. And we can bring this back hand to the hip and we can take a little twist. That might be all that you'll want to do for the moment. You might get some pinching, so if you're getting some pinching, ease out and come back down to the original posture. Now you may want to go a little bit deeper in a moment or two. Just see how that's feeling. And if you think you can reach your foot, then move the prop away and hold on to the foot. And again, we have more of a rotation of the spine. And if the head is getting too involved, you can always hold the head. And then if you are quite deeply into your yin, you may want to take this arm and pop it onto your shoulder. See how that feels. Or you may want to reach over and close the posture entirely. This is the most intense, and you want to be able to have your face so that you can see forward. So rather than have the elbow crossing over your face, you want to take the twist so you can really open up into this spinal rotation, into the hips, into the hamstrings, the deepest of the postures. And remember, there's no judgment. Whatever you've chosen is the right posture for you. So if you've taken the twist, we're just going to return to the original posture very slowly. We'll take that forward bow, left down. And then walk the hands all the way back. And then we're just going to take the opposite side. So again, we lengthen up through the spine, really tall spines. On the exhale, we twist. And we have props available under the hamstring, over the thighs, straight back if you want to. Lots of different options for lots and lots of different bodies. Take an inhale and exhale. Start to go deeper. Finding your edge. One side is always very different to the other. Just check out how the body's feeling, the sensations. And sometimes you may even get a little bit irritable in your yin practice because it's very difficult to be still. It's very challenging. But check it out, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. How is your breath? And we're slowly going to exit this posture if we want to. We're going to take that 2-minute twist if we want to. So we bring that bolster or any props that you may have available inside and have the elbow on the prop. And maybe take that opposite arm and place it on your hips and just open up the chest, have a little twist. See how that's feeling. And again, don't rush into anything, just check it out, see what's happening. With awareness, we can never, ever hurt ourselves. So you may want to stay like this, or perhaps you may want to bring the elbow down, continue to support the head maybe, and maybe have the hand on the shoulder and open up into that deeper twist. And then perhaps grab hold of the foot, another option. And maybe find the full posture. Lift up your heart. Check out there's no pinching. Nice easy breathing. So those who are in the twist will come back into the original posture. Just join the other guys who didn't do the twist. And then bring your hands to the earth and slowly we'll all rise up. Pick up the knees, lock legs, and give ourselves a massage. And we do know that we are getting to the deeper tissues of the body, so we are actually doing our own personal massage by stressing these tissues, this connective tissue. I'm going to send you a video next week. It's a really interesting video about fuzz, what the connective tissue is like. I'll send it to you. It's only a couple of minutes long, but it'll really explain what we're doing in our yin practice. Okay, the next posture. hips and hamstrings combined. I'm going to take the right foot across. I'm going to come onto the edge of the foot. Simply going to stay here. That's quite a nice posture. And in point of fact, you can watch TV in this posture as well. So this is option one. We're just going to really have a nice straight spine and just focus on the hamstrings, the hips, and the spine. Option two, this is your left leg, this is your left hand. Just lean to the left and flick that foot behind you. This is option two. And then shuffle so your buttocks are on the mat and your knee is over knee. So we have internal and external hip rotation here. And we have a nice straight spine. And whichever position you're in, if you want to, you can have props in front of you and we can roll forward. And if you don't want that prop, just roll it away. If you do want any of these bolsters, they need to be a buckwheat bolster. They sell them on Amazon, and they're really wonderful for your yin practice. A lot happening in this posture. Make sure your bottom knee is quite comfortable and not being too compromised. A few more breaths. And slowly we rise and join those guys, maybe with the straight backs. If you cross, then just lean back to unravel. Straight legs, straight spine. And then we'll just take the opposite leg over, as this is the left leg over, and we're coming onto the edge of the foot. And we're just simply going to stay here with a nice straight spine. So right foot, right hand, lean to the right, which enables us to flick that foot back. And then we shuffle the buttocks, having the legs crossed. You're going to go great stretch down the IT band as well. And either stay with the straight spine, whichever posture you're in, or roll forward, spinal flexion. Support yourself with cushions if required. So by bringing mindfulness into our lives, we'll improve our blood pressure and lower our heart rates. We'll certainly improve our digestion, because being mindful, we'll be aware of what we are eating. You'll lessen any inflammation that you have. Any pain that's being created in the body will be lessened by being mindful, because you're then fully aware of your body. And you'll automatically improve your immune system. So wonderful benefits from mindfulness, which we can practice at any time throughout the day. Even having a shower, noticing the water on your skin is being mindful. Washing the dishes is being mindful. Preparing food eating food. These are all opportunities for mindfulness. A couple of breaths. And then slowly rise all the way up, nice and slowly. If we have the double leg cross, we'll just lean back and come back into long legs. And then maybe do those windshield wipers again. Perhaps the body is requiring a little bit more movement now, especially if you've had the double leg cross. Just the windshield wipers feels quite nice. And the next posture is cat pulling its tail. It's actually called cat pulling its tail. So I'm going to lay on my side and bring my elbow underneath to support me. If I go this way, maybe you can see a little bit better. So it's a nice side posture. And then I'm going to take this top leg and stretch it in front of me. And then this back foot, I'm just going to maybe take hold of it. And if I've taken hold of it, I'm going to pull it away. And you're going to feel now hamstrings, IT band, hips, quads as well. So you're going to feel lots happening in this posture. Now, if you haven't hold of the foot, don't worry, just drop it down and don't worry about it. Stay on your elbow. Now, of course, there is always deeper options for those who've been practicing yin for a while. Make a 2-minute hold. So the deeper option, especially if you're holding on to your foot, is just roll that left shoulder back and release away from the elbow. And then I want you to think about pulling the foot at the back away from you rather than towards you. So this is the deepest option. If it's all a bit too much, you're coming back up onto your elbow. We're settling here. Or you're not even holding onto that foot if we're settling here. All of them are quite tough. So, as I said, yin is not always quite easy. When we start to examine different postures, it can be a little bit more challenging. There are very few postures in yin though. So it's quite nice because we can really experiment how we feel each time we do the postures. Of course, there is always another option to grab hold of those front toes, pull the other leg away from you. You're right into the quads then, you're right into these left quads. So that might be too intense. We'll just drop it open. Nice, easy breathing. So if you do have hold of the foot, it's pulling it away from you, not pulling it towards you, it's pulling it away from you. And a couple more breaths. And then simply release, and we're just going to come onto our back. So just literally come onto your back. Ah, feels nice. Feet flat onto the mat. Roll the knees into the chest. Have that little roll around. And then settle yourself up for the opposite side. So the opposite side, onto the elbow, nice straight legs. And then the top right comes forward, the back foot comes back. I think I might have done the same side. Nice, easy breathing. Make sure you do the opposite side, because I'm quite confused now whether I've done one side or the other. So just make sure that you're doing the opposite side. Don't always follow my directions. And then again, if you want to, you can release down, just release down onto that shoulder and take that leg away from you. Or even grab hold of the toes. The most challenging one, so if you want to come back onto the elbow, certainly do that. If you want to release the foot, certainly do that. And cat pulling its tail. Just a couple more breaths. And then slowly release. Make your way onto your backs, feet flat onto the mat. Knees into chest and have that little roll around. And then feet flat onto the mat. I'm just going to lay down and take the rebound from that posture. Just see what's happening. We call it a rebound. Just check out what's been happening. Everything settle. And from here, we're simply going to roll over onto our tummies. Have any props available to you? And have them placed underneath your armpits. Bolsters, cushions, legs are straight, and arms over. This is your first option. So now we have a really light back bend. The feet can be together or they can be apart, whichever feels appropriate to you. Feel free to stay in this position if it's deep enough for your spine. We're compressing those discs in the spine in a healthy fashion. So this is great for anybody who has back issues or sciatica. So you may want the support of the bolster, or you may want to take it away and bring your forearms onto the mat. This is a lot deeper. So bring a lot of compression into those discs, making the spine healthy and strong. But just be aware that you want to be in your edge, just slightly out of your comfort zone. Any tingling, burning, shooting pains in yin yoga are indications that you're going too far. And then just bring your awareness to the buttocks. Did they actually contract or did they stay soft? Doesn't matter what happened, but just bring your awareness to what happened. And then we have our stillness. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, just bring the heels in towards the buttocks. This will be a deeper compression. I want you to be fully aware of the posture that you're in at the moment. Because you may choose to do that posture again, or perhaps we'll go a little bit deeper. So if the feet are raised, bring them down. And then just lay your head on top of the hands. Drag your right knee up to your right elbow along the mat and gaze to the right. And then slowly drive that leg back. Now remember the posture that you were in, whether you had a bolster or whether you were in Sphinx or whether you had your legs raised up, or you're going to go deeper. So bring your hands quite wide on the mat in front of you. Stay with you, no, you stay with the other one. Going to rise up. So we want to keep the pubic bone on the mat. So we have this stretch in the belly. I've asked Malcolm to continue with the original posture because when he does this, he actually lifts up the pubic bone and it's a bit too much compression in the spine. So in order for him to do the posture, he actually does that. So it's better for him to do this original posture than to lift the pubic bone off the mat. So if you're in this posture, it's called seal. And it's also a nice stretch of the belly. And again, we can bring our attention to the buttocks. Did they contract? Did they stay soft? Sometimes when we're working with the spine, the buttocks will contract. So it's a 2-minute hold. If it's a little bit too much, go back to your original previous posture. Want it a little bit softer, take the hands a little bit further forward. This will decrease the compression in the spine. You want to go a little bit deeper, take them closer towards the hips. This will increase, but you keep the pubic bone on the mat. So it's almost like that seal. You can see that it's a seal posture. And breathe. Doesn't matter where the shoulders are. Really working into the spine. You can bow your head if you want to have some yin in the neck, the upper back. If it feels a bit too intense, lift the head up again. Just one more breath. And then we'll all release down, taking away any props, hands underneath the forehead. And then we'll drive that left knee up towards the left elbow and gaze to the left. So this is like a really good decompression of the spine, so it should feel quite nice. And then finally bring that leg back. We're just simply going to roll over onto our backs. If you feel the need for a little knee hug, that's great. Or separate the feet flat and have the windshield wipers on your back, whichever feels appropriate to you, whichever things body wants to do at the moment. Our final posture is just a gentle twist. You may want to do both. Just see what feels good for you. Now we're going to bring the feet flat to the mat. And we're just going to drop the knees to the left and settle here. Just restoring equilibrium to the body with a nice gentle twist. If you want to, you can gaze in the direction of the knees. And then bringing the feet back to the mat. Draw the knees into the chest. A little movement around, maybe little circles to the right and then circles to the left, really getting into the sacroiliac joints. And then feet flat. We'll just take the gentle twist the opposite direction. Just dropping the knees to the right. Settling here. And again, if you want to gaze the direction of the knees, that might be appropriate. Just a few more breaths. And then slowly we roll onto the spine. And again, our final little knee hug, final little circles to the right and to the left. And then we're moving into a body scan relaxation. It's not a very long relaxation, so please join me in the relaxation if you can. So settle yourselves either with your bolsters underneath your knees or your cushions underneath your knees. Cover yourselves with a blanket because we tend to get a little bit cold in relaxation. And just settle here in your relaxation. So again, bring your awareness to the whole of the body now, the whole of the body, settling into relaxation. So I'll repeat the affirmation that we had at the beginning of the practice. am enough. What I do is enough. What I have is enough. Who I am and what I do is enough. So make sure you're really comfortable and make sure you're nice and warm. You've earned this relaxation. You deserve this relaxation. It's a mind and body scan relaxation. So for the moment, allow the mind to rest. Be aware of any thoughts you may be having. Try not to get involved with them. Just acknowledge them and perhaps watch them float away in front of you. Be aware of the whole of the body laying down. And give permission for your body to relax completely. Notice each part of the body where it touches the support beneath you. Now, if your eyes are not closed, softly close them. And bring your awareness inwards. Take a long, deep inhale. And slowly exhale through the mouth. Take a long, deep inhale. And exhale softly and slowly. One more. Now return to your natural rhythm of breath. Bring your awareness to your toes. The big toes. The little toes. And all the toes in between. Be aware of any sensation in your toes. Now bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. The top of the feet. Now allow the feet to relax. Bring your awareness to the ankles, the calf muscles, the shin bones, the knees, the back of the knees, the thighs, back of the thighs, and the front of the thighs. The legs, relaxing, releasing. Bring your awareness to the hips, the pelvis, the abdomen rising and falling. The lower back relaxing, just letting go. The upper back, the shoulders, feel as though a burden is taken away from the shoulders. Let the weight of the shoulders relax. Bring your awareness to the upper arms, elbows, wrists, palm of the hands, the back of the hands, all the fingers and thumbs, softening, relaxing, releasing. Take your awareness now to the top of the head, the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyelids, and all the muscles around the eyes are softening. The nose, the lips gently parting and softening. The jaw relaxes. The front of the neck and the back of the neck relax. Now bring your awareness to the whole of the body. Whole of the body. Feel as though the body is floating. The body is very light. Relax the whole of the body. Just letting go. Softening. Releasing. Now bring your awareness to your favorite place. And start to imagine all you can see in your favorite place. Does it have certain sounds? Perhaps some smells that you remember. Imagine your favorite place now in full Technicolor. And see yourself there. Perhaps imagine what you're wearing. And now just relax and enjoy your favorite place. A place where you're happy, comfortable, calm, and safe. Stay as long as you like in your favorite place.